show. You are one-on-one with Weston Sports Guy here on YouTube and online all the time at westonsportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site, westonsportsguy.com, for all the latest spring training news, NFL offseason updates. The NBA season, NHL regular seasons are going to be wrapping up very shortly. The playoffs are around the corner for those two leagues. All that good stuff is there at westonsportsguy.com. And as always, when you come to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, leave a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff here on this channel on YouTube, and use that hashtag #OneOnOneWes as well. Diving right into it this week, bringing back an old segment that I introduced not too long ago. Dude, what were you thinking?
Dude. I guess you've got a point there.
Now, if you don't know who Spike Lee is, just a brief background on him real quick. He is a filmmaker. You might know him more for the Michael Jordan ads back in the late 80s, early 90s. When it came to selling shoes and all that kind of stuff, I kind of know Spike Lee more from that rather than his films. His films are not for me. He probably would be the first person to tell me that the films that he makes are not for me. But again, to each its own. I have nothing against him as a filmmaker. He does his thing. That's perfectly fine. But another reason to know Spike Lee is he is an unabashed, loyal New York Knicks fan. Sad to say, yes, he is a New York Knickerbocker fan. And that is sad in and of itself because of how bad the New York Knicks are. But the thing that happened this week that really took me back is the fact that he actually is he's making me defend the New York Knicks and the owner of the New York Knicks, James Dolan. If you don't know who James Dolan is, he is probably the worst owner in the NBA right now, thanks to the ousting of Donald Sterling a few years back, formerly of the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. But now James Dolan has taken that mantle as the worst owner in the NBA. Now, James Dolan and Spike Lee are having a bit of a brouhaha right now this week. Earlier in the week, Spike Lee had caught wind of this. He decided to go on ESPN, and ESPN opened their airwaves to him for him to basically espout that he was being harassed by James Dolan and security at Madison Square Garden attending a New York Knicks game, and that he wasn't allowed to enter in a specific entryway. Turns out that basically what had happened was Spike Lee decided to use an entrance that was deemed for employees only and people with disabilities. Spike Lee claims he's been using this entryway for almost 30 years as a season ticket holder. Now, if that is true, okay, there is a little bit of a give and take here that needs to happen. But at the same time, Spike, you do have another entryway that you can go to. The Knicks have said that publicly. There's a specific one for celebrities that you can use. Not a big deal. But this is about as privileged as you can get in that descriptive sort of way of a guy who thinks he can basically do whatever he wants. Granted, being a season ticket holder, you do have limitations though. Just because you're the most famous New York Knicks season ticket holder doesn't make you with the ability to go in and out of the arena wherever the hell you want. That doesn't allow you that. Sorry, Spike, it doesn't. Even when I used to have season tickets for the then Anaheim Angels in 2002 when they won their World Series, that doesn't entitle me to get more season tickets because I had season tickets that year. He admits that he was using the wrong entryway. Spike Lee admits this. But yet he's claiming harassment. He's claiming that this photo with him and James Dolan during the game of I shouldn't say supposed, but during the incident, he still was able to watch the game, mind you. This reaction with James Dolan was a setup, he says. I gotta say, this is making me kind of wonder what the hell is going on with the sports world this day and age. This story was gaining traction for about 24 to 48 hours, surprisingly, to the point where ESPN still had a headline on their main website and for their NBA section of their website that basically says here, showing on the screen, Spike in no-shows means small Knicks crowd. So you're saying because Spike Lee, after the fact, says he's done going to Knicks games this year on the simple fact for him that he was barred entry from a certain spot in Madison Square Garden that Knick fans all of a sudden don't want to go to Knick games because of this. Memo to the Knick fans. Your team sucks. You shouldn't go to these games because the team is terrible. James Dolan is an awful owner, yet you still go to these games. But because of Spike Lee and his little thing, you decide not to go to the Knick games supposedly because of this. And this is a story? Granted, I'm talking about it because I find some genuine entertainment in this. But in the long haul of it, I didn't want to go to Laker games for the longest time in the last few years when they still had Kobe Bryant at the end of his career and a few up-and-coming youngsters. But I didn't want to go to a Laker game because the team was awful. The product is not good. Why in the hell do you want to go to Knick games when that team is so terrible and the owner is such a control freak and it's just everything is bad about it. So standing on your principle, Spike, good for you. Congratulations and all. But you not going to a game this year doesn't do a damn thing to the bottom line. Just because some fans are deciding not to show up because of this incident with Spike Lee, is that the supposed reason? No, I think Knick fans are finally starting to wake up. Why the hell am I spending so much money to go to Madison Square Garden to watch crap? It's absolute garbage that's on the basketball court there. You'd rather go to a Ranger game right now, and they're not officially in the playoff hunt, but they're at least in the playoff hunt. What are the Knicks in? More lottery balls. Got to get ready for that stuff. They are just completely revamping that entire front office. They're going to have to look for a new head coach again. It is a disaster, once again, for the New York Knicks franchise. Spike Lee adding to it is just a little side note. It's a blip. But the whole point of this segment was, I feel as though this was a huge non-story, but again, Spike Lee had to get into the limelight and actually was given the platform by ESPN's airwaves to vent and spout insanity, absolute insanity. Now, I'm going to talk to Spike Lee here for a minute. Spike! Just take a step back. That's great and all that you're not going to go to Knick games anymore this season, but you saying it's just for this season kind of defeats your purpose. James Dolan's still going to be the owner next season. What the hell are you going to do then? None of this makes any sense, Spike. You shouldn't have gone on ESPN and said what you said and still doubled down on that after the fact when the evidence proves otherwise. Even you admitted you're using the wrong entryway. You should take a step back, reassess the situation, and try to spin it a different way, because right now it's just not going to work. But I asked the question, dude, what were you thinking?
Dude. Well, I guess you've got a point there.
Time for my feel-good story of the week, and I give you the best in show. And that is a absolute great performance there by that wonderful, wonderful stuffed puppy. And I say that as a stuffed animal that was a young lady with autism, and the judge decided to have her show the best qualities of that stuffed animal, and obviously the best in show for you, as I alluded to in the beginning of the video. But again, I salute you both. Don't have the names in that video, unfortunately, but it is circulating all over the World Wide Web, and you just gotta love stories like that all around. This is great. Fantastic. Good way to end your week, I should say. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for all the notifications when a new video is posted here on the channel. Bookmark the site, westthesportsguy.com. Get all my social media links there at that website. You can also get them on YouTube. And make sure you use that hashtag #OneOnOneWest. Until then, I will see you next time.